everybody, it's time for Off the Ledge. I'm Annette Dion. We do Off the Ledge every day, no matter where I am. As you can see, I'm back home. Let me just start with just acknowledging how tough this all is. It's really, sometimes we have to just step back and pat ourselves on the back for hanging in there and being filled with faith and trust and hope and love. I keep getting sort of messages from my guidance. And even though this might seem like it's not important, I get that it is. If we are holding resentment thoughts about anybody in our lives, to just do the best that we can to clear that up. And it doesn't mean going and being friends with them per se, but just be in a space in your heart of forgiveness. And that goes for all the MAGA people that we get so mad at, and we can't believe that they created this mess. They contributed to creating this mess in a big way. I often think about how a lot of people we're talking about civil war. We're going to have a civil war. I think about when people were saying that a lot. Maybe they still are. But, the download that I get is that we've avoided a civil war. There was similar configurations in the astrology during these times as there were during the Civil War times. Because the orange Satan got into office illegitimately, and now we're having to deal with all the fallout of that. The people that were really, really raging at democracy, just to put it straightforwardly, the people that were railing against Democrats and democracy are seeing things that the orange Satan is doing, and they are livid. So there's not going to be a civil war. Because what's happening is people are really, really angry at the orange Satan. And I call him that for good reason. Because he's the embodiment of evil. So I went on a walk this morning, and I'm walking through this little park. This is how the universe speaks. And I saw there was a kite stuck in a tree, and as I walked by, I noticed that the kite looked like it was in the it was an airplane. It was a kite, an airplane kite, and it had red, white, and blue on it, like as if it was a kite that was like an American, a patriotic kind of a kite, and it was stuck in a tree. And I kept getting, there's some kind of a message there. What is that? That's like, why am I seeing a depiction of a kite with a, looks like an American, a patriotic kite that got stuck in a tree? And then I found out that, what were our allies, and still are, we need to just get rid of this administration that's criminal. They have decided, our allies have decided, they're not going to buy weapons from the United States anymore. And we don't think about it a lot, but it's a huge industry. It's a huge industry. So the kite seemed to represent American warplanes being stopped in their tracks from being purchased and shipped. More on that later. There's so much going on that I've been toying with the idea of doing a few pop-ups here and there just to cover some of the news. Just not live, but pre-recorded like this. I hope you're having a decent day. So it is the 25th. Oh, this is the 24th. And I have the Science of Mind. And this is kind of appropriate for what I was just talking about, for forgiveness. And if we can't be in a space of forgiveness, I know it's difficult, to just go to neutral and just make sure that we're not exuding hateful vibes. And sometimes it's unknowingly, sometimes we're not even aware of it, and then when we think of that person or that situation, we go, oh, I hate them. It's a vibe thing. It's a vibration thing. It's not anything about guilt or that. So this says treating for others, and Ernest Holmes takes the psalm, whither can I go from your spirit? Whither can I flee from your presence? There are two questions. Whither can I go from your spirit? Whither can I flee from your presence? And that is really stating that you can't leave the presence of the divine. It's within us and around us at all times. And it's entitled Treating for Others. Treating is a way of saying praying in Science of Mind, because treating is a form of affirmative prayer, stating what you want to be so as if it's already so. People frequently ask how they can help others and how their prayer or treatment reaches the other person. The method, the technique, and the approach are no different from that of helping oneself. For when you treat for yourself, you affirm the spiritual truth about yourself, recognizing the activity of spirit in your life and affairs. When you treat for another, you affirm that same truth about that person. The same procedure is followed concerning a group of people or a specific situation. After having made this identification of the person or condition with the activity of God's love and wisdom, your affirmation should contain an idea of the required good or right action. And your denials, if any, should repudiate that which denies this activity. You need never wonder how your thought gets to the other person, because it does not have to go anywhere. Every person is already established in the universal mind, whose creative law must manifest the ideas presented to it. So the whole action takes place in your own consciousness. Your treatment, working through the law of mind, produces results according to your faith and conviction. So I want to say something about what I just read, and that is, we have been, if we're paying attention, we have been seeing horrifying stories about these brutal, ruthless, and cruel deportations. So let's just take a moment right now to hold in our thoughts and our consciousness the idea that this situation is turned around. And the people that are being harmed, the innocent people being harmed, that just were going through asylum and the process of becoming citizens, that they're okay, that this situation is healed. All right, thank you. Let's now listen to Kathy Beale's astrology report for today. It's an intense week, everybody. We're heading into a solar eclipse in Aries. This is a no-nonsense time. So let's hear it.
This is Kathy Beale of EmpowermentUnlimited.net with Astro Insight for March 25th, 2025. All right, there has been a pattern this week of stripping down, intensifying, getting clear, cutting something out, facing fears, and going for it. This is a day to do that with conversations, with your thoughts. This is the day to have those difficult conversations that you've been putting off. You can get to the heart of things. Mercury retrograde is meeting with Pluto. Secrets will out if you just dig for them. That's all for now.
This is a week of huge movement. Just, we'll see what that looks like when it unfolds. Let's take a look at the Osho cards. See what we have here. I also saw this morning that little green shoots were shooting up from the ground. Spring is coming. You know, contrary to yesterday, you go from one day to the next and things can completely shift, which is something to keep in mind. Things can shift on a dime. And let's also wish and intend. Let's hold in our consciousness. I think it's been a long time since, it's been a very long time since we got a little bit of a feeling of grace, like some justice is happening, some, karma's coming back and boomeranging back and backfiring on the evil. It's been a long time since we've really had anything happen. I mean, according to my perception in the news, that's like hopeful. So that maybe the Bernie stop the oligarchy rallies, some of that. We just need a big stroke of justice. So let's really keep that in our consciousness, that we see a big, giant move towards justice. Let's hold that in our consciousness today, and let's really work on believing it and creating the mental equivalent. We see it happening, and we feel it happening, and it feels amazing that this evil is curtailed and stopped. Okay, let's see what the Osho cards say about that. And maybe that kite in that tree that was shaped like a U.S. plane was significant. Maybe that was the guide saying that thing with our allies not buying U.S. Warplanes from us is the start of some of the end of them. The start of the end, the beginning of the end of this evil, cruel, illegitimate criminal administration that should not be in office. They're Putin's puppets. So, we are experiencing, oh, interesting, guilt. Collectively, we're experiencing guilt. We look at what this administration is doing. Like it or not, the government represents us, which is why we really need to be up in arms, metaphorically speaking. Because we're looking like what a guilty country we are. And when we join together with one message, this turns around. And that's the energy that's going on right now. This is making us feel terrible. And it does remind me, if you remember, releasing religious guilt is every day. I record that every day. But anyway, in terms of our country, we're experiencing incredible guilt. We're being seen as the enemies by our allies. It's a collective kind of a guilt. So we can ask collectively for the world to forgive us. For not taking care of our democracy, for checking out. Right? We don't have to feel guilty about that, but maybe this is pointing to a lot of people are starting to feel guilty. Some people just never ever voted. This is what you get when you don't pay attention, and the thieves can come in and steal everything. That's quite literal. And here we have the totality card. So we'll come together with one strong message. And it's not too late. Don't ever think it's too late. Everything can be turned around. Everything is reparable. And when things are this intense, you cannot deny they're this intense to get our attention. And it's not going to stop until we do an about face, just individually and collectively do an about face and go, whoa, this needs to be paid attention to. I want to encourage you to do whatever you can to reach out to your representatives to be activated. 50501 is having a rally on April 5th. Big rally in your state. So check that out. Make sure you attend or do things to help save our democracy. Let's not make what's going on right now something that we just tolerate. We've done that long enough. Okay, I love you all, and we'll see you again really soon. Once again, if you're a member, Releasing Religious Guilt is uploaded every single day just like this, and it's set to members only. So make sure you check that out. It's life transformative. All right. Namaste. Have a good day. Bye.